type of modulus of elasticity that was left was bulk modulus. So bulk modulus of elasticity is basically the ratio of the normal stress. The stress involved over here is the normal stress, and the strain that is involved here is the volumetric strain. So bulk modulus, that is represented by B, is actually the ratio of volumetric stress, or you can say normal stress, divided by the volumetric strain. Let me remind you what was normal stress. Normal stress was the stress that was applied when the deforming force was applied perpendicularly to the surface, perpendicular force. Volumetric strain was a change in volume divided by the original volume. Yes, that was volumetric strain. So for example, in this case, I have taken a sphere. Now I have applied deforming forces from all the directions. Now, if it had initially V volume, then because of the application of all these forces, the sphere will get compressed. Let's say these dotted lines represent the new sphere that we have with volume, let's say V dash, some V dash. So this change which you are able to observe, that is from this white line, the periphery to these dotted lines. This is the exact change which you are able to observe. So let's say this change is delta V. Is it clear? So delta V is the change in volume, or you can say the decrease in volume, by how much the volume has been decreased. So delta V is the decrease in volume. Let's say A is the surface area. A is the surface area. And V, as we have taken, is the original volume of the sphere. Original volume of the sphere means before the application of all these deforming forces. So V is the original volume. Now see, normal stress, if you remember, normal stress was the force that has been applied, the perpendicular force that has been applied, divided by the area. So if F is the force applied here, then this normal stress would be, yes, Umar?
90 degrees.
No.
Wait. No. What?
F is the force applied and A is the surface area. The normal stress should be force per unit area. So that would be F divided by A. And we can write it as pressure also. Fine. And let's see volumetric strain. Volumetric strain. Now, can you tell me, volumetric strain is basically change in volume divided by original volume. So by looking at all the dimensions that are given, are you able to tell? Can you tell me what should be volumetric?
V by delta V.
No, delta V by V. Fine.
V by V.
Yes, delta V by V. The change or whatever the decrease there in the volume divided by the original volume. So delta V divided by V is the volumetric strain.
Yeah.
Now see, let's put all these values that we have got. Now let's substitute it in the main formula for bulk modulus. So bulk modulus was normal stress divided by volumetric strain. So normal stress is the pressure, or let us write in terms of F by mv. It would be F by A, and the volumetric strain over here, this would be equal to delta V divided by V. Since volume is decreasing because of the compression, because of the application of these deforming forces, we'll put a negative sign. And we can also write it in this way, as well as we can substitute force by area as pressure. That would be minus PV divided by delta V. And this negative sign simply indicates that there is a decrease in volume. And just to compare all the three states of matter that we have, bulk modulus, remember that bulk modulus for solids is greater than bulk modulus for liquids. And the bulk modulus for gases is the least. Again, can you tell me what is the SI unit? What should be the SI unit of bulk modulus by looking at this formula? Force by area is for stress, and V by V is the formula for strain. SI unit should be.
And Newton
See,
per
would this would
meter.
yes, right, Newton per meter square. Because this won't have any unit, strain won't have any unit because the dimensions are same. It's a ratio of two similar quantities, volume, but cancel this volume. And we are left with only the stress portion. So the modulus of elasticity will directly have the SI unit of stress. That is Newton per meter square. Or you can write it as pascals as well. 1 Newton per meter square is equal to pascals. Fine?
Yes.
Just note this portion, then we'll move forward. And if you have any doubts, you can ask me.
I have noted this question.
You've noted this portion?
This page.
Yes.
I have noted.
Okay, fine. See, after this, we have one more quantity that is known as compressibility. So what is compressibility? Compressibility is measure of how easily the material will be compressed. This means it is simply, you can say that it is just the reciprocal of bulk modulus. Like if compressibility, let us denote it by K, bulk modulus has been represented by B. So compressibility is actually the reciprocal of bulk modulus. So K is actually 1 by B. So whatever was the formula for B, it just gets reciprocal for compressibility. So we can write the formula for compressibility as negative sign would be there to indicate that there is a decrease in, or the compressibility is there, or there is a decrease in volume. But delta V would go on the numerator side now, and now we'll be left with pressure and volume in the denominator side. So this is the formula for compressibility. Now see, I have made you write this comparison that bulk modulus of solids is high and bulk modulus of gases is low. Now see, since compressibility is the reciprocal of this bulk modulus, the order or the comparison for solids and gases and liquids will also get reversed. This means that the gases are highly and easily compressible. So K for gases would now be larger than compressibility for liquids. Now the compressibility for solids would be least, and you can observe this also. Compressing a solid is harder than compressing a gas. Compressing a gas is much more easier. Now, can you tell me the SI unit? It's just the reciprocal of bulk modulus. So the SI unit should be
1 by Newton meter square.
1 by Newton. Yes, very good. It should be 1 by Pascals, or you can say Pascals inverse, or you were also correct. That is, instead of Newton per meter square, it would be Newton inverse. Meter would go down now and meter square. Fine. Just note down this. We'll do a numerical on this.
Ma'am, I've written.
Okay, fine. Omar, I'm writing a question. Just take 2 to 3 minutes. Try it yourself. Otherwise, I'll help you. You have to find out the fractional compression. Fractional compression means delta V by V you have to find out, and bulk modulus is given to you. See, pressure is missing. You also need pressure. So that we'll discuss later on. But for now, I'll tell you, we'll discuss, if time permits, we'll do it today. The pressure exerted by liquid column. But for now, I'm telling you, it is H rho G, means height of the liquid multiplied by the density of liquid and acceleration due to gravity. And density of water, Indian Ocean is comprised of water. So density of water is 1000 kg per meter cube. In case if you need this data, just use it. Take 2 to 3 minutes and I'll help you out.
Ma'am, I'm not having an idea how I should do this.
See. First, calculate the pressure. P is equal to H rho G. I have told you. Okay, I'll tell you this only. Wait. What is the height given to you?
3,000 meters.
3,000 meters. Yes.
What
3,000 meters. What is the density given to you? And you remember the density of water. Remember this for further questions also, for your knowledge as well. Density of water is 1000. and let's take acceleration due to gravity as 10. So pressure is equal to 3 into 10 to the power 7 pascals. Is this much portion clear to you? How we have got this H rho g, we'll discuss it later on in the next chapter. But is this portion clear to you? How have we got pressure? Yes or no?
Now we have it.
Yes. Now see, bulk modulus is given to you. Pressure, you have it. Can you find out delta V by V? Just write the formula for bulk modulus. Leave delta V by V as it is. Try to find out the value using bulk modulus. P is given to you. B is 2.2 into 10 to the power 9. You have to find delta V by V. You have written down the question?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Umar, tell me the formula. What is the formula for bulk modulus? Do you need 1 minute or I shall help you?
No, ma'am, I need help.
See the formula for bulk modulus, I'm writing it again. It's minus PV divided by delta V. You have B with you, you have P with you. You have to find out delta V divided by V. Fine?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, can you show the question again? Ma'am, I'm not understanding how this will
Sorry,
work.
your voice is breaking. What did you say? Yes,
No,
Umar, what
ma'am,
did you
the
say?
calculation I'm not getting.
Okay, I'll help you. See,
I'm not
from here,
understanding.
can you tell me how can we get delta V by V? What will be left with B? What will be left?
Put other side.
Minus P divided by B.
Send her to CPS.
This much portion will be left.
Yes.
So see, delta V divided by V. Minus P means minus of this portion. And let's not even use minus. We don't need minus right now. Let's not even use minus. See, what is the pressure given? Pressure is given 3 into 10 to the power 7 divided by the bulk modulus. What is the bulk modulus of water given in the question? 2.2 into 10 to the power 9.
2.2 into 10
Yes.
to the power 9.
So delta V by V, on solving this, this would be approximately equal to 1.36 into 10 to the power minus 2. And it would be unitless because meter cube would be on the numerator side as well as meter cube would be on the denominator side. Fine. In case if
But
you have
how do you solve it?
by dividing 3 by 2.2, if you solve it, you would be left with 3 divided by 2.2 into this 10 to the power 9 will go up. That would make it 10 to the power minus 2. And 3 divided by 2.2 is 1.36. Okay. And if you have to calculate the percentage change, had the question asked, then how would you have done? If the question had asked to calculate the percentage, simply multiply this portion by 100. It means delta V by V into 100 would give you the percentage change. So delta V by V is what? 1.36 into 10 to the power minus 2 into 100 means into 10 to the power 2. So 10 to the power minus 2, but cancel this 10 to the power 2. So if you wanted to calculate the percentage change in the fractional compression of volume, then you will be left with 1.36% only. Fine. Just multiply the fractional compression with 100. Just note this down, then we'll move further. Written?
Yes.
Okay. Let's do one more question. And if you have any doubts, you can ask me in between. Just take 2 minutes to understand the question, then I'll solve it for you. At least do one thing, Omar, by yourself. Compressibility is given to you 0.0005. What should be the bulk modulus? First, tell me the bulk modulus.
Yes, ma'am. I'm doing the calculation for it.
Yes.
Ma'am, is it 1.147 gram centimeter cube?
1.14 gram per centimeter cube, the density. How did you find out? Tell me your method.
Density of water is 1 gram centimeter cube. Depth is 3 kilometers. So height is 3 into, if we convert it into meters, it's 10 raised to the power 5.
Yes.
And the compressibility would be K is equal to 0.0005 5, and then
Okay, fine. See, now I'll solve it and just look at the mistakes, or if you have any doubt, you can ask me. See, normal density of seawater is 1 gram per centimeter cube. What will be its density at a depth of 3 kilometers? And the compressibility is given to us, that is 0.0005 per atmosphere. See, compressibility is given to us. It means K is provided to us, that is 0.0005 per ATM. This is K, but we don't require K. For calculation of bulk modulus, we need B. So bulk modulus would be the reciprocal of bulk compressibility. Yes, per ATM. So this is 1 by 5. That will give you 2 into 10 to the power 4 per ATM. On solving this 1 by 0.0005, we will get 2 into 10 to the power 4 per ATM. Is this much portion clear? Yes, Umar? Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now see, this is per atmosphere, and we require everything in CGS unit now, because this density of water is given in CGS unit. So the density that we will be calculating at a depth of this, we have to find out this in CGS unit. So bulk modulus is given in per ATM. So let us convert it into dyne per centimeter square. And for conversion of per ATM into dyne per centimeter square, we require this relation that is already provided to us in the question. See, 1 ATM is equal to 10 to the power 6 dyne per centimeter square. So this much ATM would be equal to all this multiplied by 10 to the power 6. Simply unitary method that we have. If 1 ATM is 10 to the power 6, then 2 into 10 to the power 4 ATM would be equal to 2 into 10 to the power 4 ATM multiplied by 10 to the power 6. So we have the value of bulk modulus as 2 into 10 to the power 10 dyne per centimeter square. So one thing is solved. We have the bulk modulus with us now. For acceleration due to gravity, let us calculate pressure over here. P is h rho g. As I've told you in the previous question, we'll discuss this in detail in the next chapter, how we have got h rho g and what all this. But for now, P is equal to h rho g. Now see, h is the height And as correctly said by you, 3 kilometer is the height, and we have to convert it into centimeters. So that would be 3 into 10 to the power 5 centimeters. So we have height with us. Now density. Density is already given to us. That is 1 gram per centimeter cube. Now acceleration due to gravity, that is 9.8. What is acceleration due to gravity? 9.8 meters per second square. Now we don't need meters, we need centimeter, because we are calculating everything in CGS unit. So acceleration due to gravity, that is 9.8 meter per second square, would now be equal to 980 centimeter per second square. Or for our convenience, for our calculation, let us take this as 1000 only. Had it been taken 10 meter per second square, then we would have here 1000 centimeter per second square. So we have H, we have rho, we have G with us. We will be able to calculate pressure easily. So pressure is the product of 3 into 10 to the power 5 into 1 into 10 to the power 3. So pressure we have 3 into 10 to the power 8 dyne per centimeter square. Is pressure and the calculation of bulk modulus clear now? This much portion is clear?
Yes, ma'am, but I want to see a few more example questions.
Sorry, what did you say?
To get a better understanding, I want to see more example questions.
Example question?
Yes.
Which
one more.
example? Okay,
No,
okay.
just for understanding.
Okay. Apart from this, okay, let's solve this first. We have still not reached to our answer. This is, we have just calculated
I will
pressure.
keep
We have
you. I am
calculated.
not joking. I will. Sorry, ma'am.
Umar, actually, your voice is breaking. If you wish, you can write to me in the chat box. Maybe network issue is there. Your voice is breaking.
Okay, ma'am.
Umar, you're writing to me, or should I continue?
You can continue. Is my voice clear?
Yes, your voice is clear now. Yes, say, what were you saying?
No, ma'am. Just to get better understanding, I want to do a few example questions. So where should I get good example questions?
Okay. You're asking me for your reference books. Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Are you using SL Aurora?
As a book, no. I have not taken any reference book for.
Okay,
No.
for getting.
I'm using GWET for physics.
Okay. See. You will be getting assignments based on your questions, so you can practice that. That would be similar to what we will be doing in the class. And apart from that, you can have these reference books with you. You will get the PDF, or you can get it. You can buy it also. Fine. Those examples would be similar to what we are discussing in the class. Otherwise, you will be getting assignments. See, now we have calculated pressure, and now we have calculated bulk modulus. Now, according to density, what is given? It is given 1 gram per centimeter cube. This means mass of water is 1 gram and volume of water is 1 centimeter cube. Now see what we have to calculate. We have V with us. We have B with us. We have P with us. What is one thing missing from the bulk modulus formula? Bulk's modulus formula is minus P delta V by V. So we have V with us, we have P with us now, and we have V with us. Is delta V missing?
Yes.
Okay, so let us calculate delta V from all these data available. So delta V would be equal to B multiplied by V divided by P. Delta V we have to calculate divided by P. So once you put in the values of all what we have, that would be equal to pressure is 3 into 10 to the power 8 multiplied by volume is 1 divided by B, bulk modulus is 2 into 10 to the power 10. This is all what we have. Now see, once you solve this, you will be getting delta V approximately equal to 1.5 centimeter cube. So you have change in volume now. So the portion, the need for calculation of bulk modulus and pressure was for calculation of this change in velocity, change in volume, sorry, delta V, that is 0.15. Now see, how do we write the final volume? Final volume. The final volume is actually subtraction of the change from the initial we have. How do we write the change in volume? Final volume minus initial volume. So if you have to calculate the final volume, that would be equal to V minus delta V. Now see, for calculation of this V dash, V, the original V that we have is 1 centimeter cube minus the change that we have calculated is 0.15. So final volume is equal to 0.85 centimeter cube. Now this is the final volume. What do we want? We want the final density. So density is equal to mass by volume. Mass will remain same. Mass is 1 gram only. So final density would be final volume, mass divided by final volume. So mass is 1 gram divided by the final volume that we have 0.85 gram per centimeter cube. This is how you will be calculating. If you have to find out the final density, then you have to calculate the final volume. And for the calculation of this final volume, we require the change in volume. And for that, we have been provided the data to calculate bulk modulus and pressure. Is it clear? Just note
Yes.
this down, and while writing, try to solve it yourself. And if you face any difficulty, you can ask me in between.
Ma'am, I have written. My printing.
Okay, fine, Umar. So this brings us to the end of this chapter, mechanical properties of solids. Just take a minute to go through your notes. If you have any doubts, you can ask it, and we'll begin with the next chapter of this unit. Fluids, mechanical properties of fluids. Just let me know when you're done, then we'll start with it.
Okay, ma'am, I have revised. I have no doubt.
Okay, fine. Let's begin with this chapter then. See, as I told you initially, that this unit, properties of bulk matter, consists of two chapters. First one was mechanical properties of solids, that has been covered now. Just solve the questions, and if you have any doubts, you can ask me in the next class. Now, this is mechanical properties of fluids. This also comprises of two portions. First one is the hydrostatics, which deals with the study of fluids at rest, and the other is hydrodynamics, which deals with study of properties of fluids in motion, that we'll discuss later. So let's start with hydrostatics today. See, what is fluid? Fluid are all the substances that can flow. The substances that can flow. So these fluids include both. It does not only include liquids, it includes liquids as well as gases. So then comes the concept of thrust. Thrust is the perpendicular force applied on the surface. If this is our container, I have filled it with a fluid. The molecules of this liquid will be exerting a perpendicular force on the walls, which is making an angle of 90 degrees with the walls of the container. So this perpendicular force that has been exerted, that is known as thrust. The perpendicular force is making an angle of 90 degrees to the surface. So fluids at rest exert force on the walls of container. So can you tell me what should be the SI unit of thrust? SI unit of thrust? Thrust is simply perpendicular force. So its SI unit should be? Yes, Omar.
Yes, ma'am.
What is the SI unit of force?
Newton.
Newton. So thrust is also a force. It's just that it is perpendicular to the surface. So SI unit of force will also be Newton. Is Newton. Now then the concept comes known as pressure. Pressure is the force applied on a unit area. Means this is the force applied and this is the area of the surface. Then whatever is the force being applied per unit area, that quantity we have is known as pressure. So the total perpendicular force or thrust exerted by a liquid at rest on a unit area of surface in contact with it is called pressure of the liquid on the surface. So pressure is equal to force by area. So from here we can also say, and as we have seen in case of stress as well, force per unit area, the SI unit was Newton per meter square. So that would remain same for pressure as well. Newton for force and meter square for area. So this is Newton per meter square, or you can say 1 pascals also. And if you have to find out in CGS unit, as we were discussing in the previous question, that would be dyne per centimeter square. And see, since pressure is inversely proportional to area, we have few applications of it, like nails and pins have pointed ends. Because it decreases the area, the smaller area of the nails and pins provide us with a greater pressure. Since the area is this, pressure is there. Similarly, we have other applications as well. Wide wooden or concrete sleepers are placed below railway tracks because it increases the area and decreases the pressure that the trains or the railways have to exert on the track. Buildings have wide foundations. Similarly,
Now, how is wait? Now, how is pressure inversely proportional to area?
because pressure is basically whatever is force acting on 1 meter square. Whatever force is acting on this 1 meter square area, that force is known as pressure. So by looking at the formula, you can say if the force is constant, how will the pressure vary with area? Inversely, pressure would be inversely proportional to area. So if area decreases, the pressure would increase. And if area increases, the pressure would automatically decrease. Fine?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, please note this page.
Ma'am, I've written.
You've written? Oh, now see, next concept that we have is atmospheric pressure. Now for understanding atmospheric pressure, you are already aware of the term atmosphere. What is atmosphere? If this is our Earth, then the envelope around this Earth the protective layering around this Earth, is known as atmosphere. The gaseous envelope around the surface of the Earth. So what happens is that these layers of atmosphere, if these are the layers of atmosphere, these also exert force. That force per unit area that we get means the pressure exerted by these layers of atmosphere, that is known as the atmospheric pressure. So atmospheric pressure, for understanding atmospheric pressure, you must know that the density of air decreases as we go up from the surface of Earth. So atmospheric pressure is maximum on the Earth's surface and goes on decreasing as we go up from the Earth's surface. Since the density of air is not constant, we are not able to calculate the exact accurate atmospheric pressure. But we have a device, barometer, for calculation of pressure, atmospheric pressure. Now see the atmospheric pressure measured on Earth, you have to remember this value. It is 1.013 into 10 to the power 5 pascals, because most of the time it won't be mentioned in the question. So this is the atmospheric pressure of the Earth measured on the Earth. Now see, one more thing is that we are continuously discussing that why fluids at rest exert force, fluids at rest exert this perpendicular force on the walls of container. But now the question is, why do they exert? So see, what happens is that these are the layers of the fluid, let's say. Now what happens? At a temperature more than 0 Kelvin, these molecules have kinetic energy or the thermal energy. That thermal energy portion we'll discuss in thermal unit. But briefly for now, these molecules will have kinetic energy, and because of this kinetic energy, the molecules that are present will not only collide with each other, but will also collide with the walls of the container. So I'll write it down for you. All molecules at temperature greater than 0 Kelvin have thermal energy, or you can say this, for understanding it for now, you can say this thermal energy is actually the kinetic energy. And because of this kinetic energy, due to this kinetic energy, these molecules, they collide with the walls of container.
Ma'am,
Yes.
there is a I'm not in my home right now. I am out of state.